What's up, y'all? It's Dr. Paul with a Golden Age comic book crack, clean, press, and resubmit video for Liberty Hill Comics, where I share my passion and over 40 years experience comic book collecting, investing, and conservation with you. Today, we are continuing our short video series in which we will crack this slab containing a nice mid-grade copy of All American Comics number 83, clean and press it, and prepare it for resubmission, hopefully for an upgrade. Today, we're going to correct the spine roll and give this comic book a press. Our CPR candidate is a copy of All American Comics number 83 from 1947, graded by CGC as a 5.0 with white pages. All American Comics was the flagship anthology series of All American Comics, Inc., one of the comic book publishers allied with Detective Comics and National Comics that were marketed together during the Golden Age under the Detective Comics bullet logo that eventually came to represent the company we know today as DC Comics. In Episode 1, we discussed the historical importance of All American Comics and how the title includes the first appearances of no less than 3 of the members of the Justice Society of America: Green Lantern, the Atom, and Dr. Midnight. Although issue number 83 is not a key issue, it is a Golden Age issue of an important DC title and does include a 12-page Green Lantern story written by John Broome with art by Paul Reinman, as well as a 7-page Dr. Midnight story drawn by Stan Ash. We also discussed how All American Comics number 83 has only 12 universal copies in the CGC Census, and how at 5.0 our copy is mid-pack in the census with 7 copies graded higher, but that if we can stretch the grade to a 6.5, we would be at the edge of the top quartile with only 4 graded higher. I paid only $189 plus shipping and taxes for this great Golden Age gem, and the grading and encapsulation fees will be a little less than $40, since we'll be submitting it with other comics in the vintage tier and taking advantage of our elite CGC discount. So we decided to crack this baby out of the holder so we could perform some CCPR on it. In Episode 2, I dry cleaned the pencil marks and the other mild soiling from this comic book, and was particularly pleased with how well we were able to remove the pencil marks from the yellow background in the title box. After the dry clean, I placed this comic book in my humidity chamber in anticipation of correcting the spine roll and giving this comic book a final press. I created a playlist for this short video series, so if you want to watch Episode 1 before watching this video, just click on the link in the upper right-hand corner. Alright, let's get busy refolding the spine. I've got my hanger tack iron here. I'm going to set it to about 250 degrees. That's a 2.5 on the hanger. And I have a slab of repurposed granite on my hobby mat that you've seen me use many times before. This is just a leftover from a kitchen renovation project. I'm going to put a sheet of SRP, that's silicone release paper. And here's my comic book open to the centerfold. I've pre-cut little reliefs for the staples here. This is a Silver Age backing board. Now you can also use a modern one, but the important thing is here, you want the pages to be wider than the backing board or at least the same width. And with this Golden Age comic, obviously that's just a Silver Age backing board. So we'll note here that we have this spine roll that we're trying to correct today. And when I tried to line everything up, I realized not all of this overlap is because of a spine roll. It's partially just because of the factory cut. So we're not going to eliminate all of what's shown here, but we'll improve it a bit. And what I'm going to do is just, you see with my right hand, I'm rolling that edge up and trying to correct it. And then with my left hand, once I have it where I want it, I'm going to pinch it down and just lock it there. And then I'm going to get another sheet of SRP, and I'm going to apply force here so that the book can't move at all. And then I'm going to use my tack iron on this spine to flatten it out in the new old orientation location. In this particular instance, I'm not refolding a book that was completely flat. I'm just trying to shift the fold, roll it, basically unroll it from where it was spine rolled. So I'm going to use a fair amount of force straight away. You've seen me do this before when I've done a complete conservation to all the pages and they're all billiard board flat. That's not the situation here. Here, all we're doing is rolling it. So I can come in immediately with quite a bit of force and let my tack iron dwell here for quite a while. Really use the force and the heat to reestablish this spine where it once was. The book has been in my humidity chamber, as I said, overnight, so it is quite saturated. As much as something is saturated in humid air without it being actually wet. So I can tell that the humidity is escaping from the book with the heat we are applying. Heat, of course, excites those water molecules, gives them some additional energy, which allows them to evaporate from the paper at an accelerated rate from what would occur at room temperature. And so some of that humidity is escaping as we do this. And you can tell it's wrinkling the SRP because SRP is impervious to water. And I think we're already pretty much where we want to be. Look at that SRP, how wrinkled it is. You can see that water's trying to get out. So I'm glad I pulled the book off of that SRP because it was starting to impart wrinkles in the book here. So I'm going to go ahead and take those out now and establish this new spine. Again, new old spine. Reestablish the spine from the front of the book as well. Now I don't need quite as much force here. The new fold has already been put in the book. So I'm just going to relax the fibers here and get those few creases out that were introduced because of the water vapor trying to escape against the SRP. I think that's about all we need, and we're ready for a press now. In my seal press. Again, that overlap is from the factory. That's all we're going to get. If I were to try to fully correct that, I'm going to actually pull the staples back onto the back side of the book, which is not what I want to do. So I have the granite slab out of the way so that I can set up my buffer stack for the press. Now I'm not going to use this Silver Age backer board, and the reason why is this Golden Age book is so wide. Sometimes you can use them on a Golden Age book because you still have a little bit of that Silver Age backer board sticking out. But this one, just because it's so wide and it's cut a little bit cockeyed, it would have left an impression. So I have a magazine backer board. I also pre-cut reliefs for the staples. This here is just a 60-pound piece of cardstock paper. It's Bristol, so it's very smooth. And it's going to help create a nice flat surface to remove any slight wrinkles, spine ticks from the cover. And you'll note anywhere where I have a little paper tag, where I have a tiny little tear, I am going to make sure that that paper is laying exactly how I want it, because we're about to press it, and we want to make sure that it gets pressed just the way we want it to be pressed. So I'm going to push that paper stock in. It's a little bit of a judgment call. You want to push it all the way in, but you don't want to push it too far. If you push it too far, you can actually sort of create problems with indentation of the staples. So it's an experience thing. Firm, but not too hard. Here's my aluminum plate. This is 1/8 inch. I use this in the bottom of my seal press. There's 2 fresh magazine backer boards. one sheet of 110-pound cardstock Bristol. Again, nice and smooth surface. That's going to be my bottom stack. Then you already saw me buffer the comic. It just has a magazine backer board in the centerfold with reliefs for the staples, and then one sheet of 65-pound cardstock under each cover. And then on the top, I'm going to have the same buffer stack. It's 2 magazine backer boards, one sheet of 110-pound cardstock Bristol. The cardstock goes down, so I'll just do a quick flip of my stack. And this is ready for the press. Having an aluminum sheet like this just makes it really easy to set up your stack and then slide it into the press. This is my seal press. For the press, we're going to have it set at 155 degrees Fahrenheit, and we're going to press it for 15 minutes. And then I'm going to let the book cool in the press for at least 4 hours, at least until it's back down to room temperature. If you can afford to, leave it in overnight. 8 hours later, I retrieved the stack from my press, so let's have a look together. I'm going to gently pull off this top buffer stack. See how our comic looks. Nice! Remember, it had quite a few spine ticks and some finger bends. Looks like we've taken care of those. I'll pull out the bottom backer boards and cardstock. Gently pull out these 65-pound cardstock from behind the front cover. Now with this particular book, because it does have a little bit of a fragile spine, I'm going to very carefully remove this page from this side as well. And now we'll remove the magazine backer board from the center. Looks like we improved that spine roll, and I think we lined everything up the way it was made off the printing press. Let's have a look at the gloss. Wow. Really nice gloss now, much better than what we started with. Between the clean and the buffing and the humidity in the press, this book really benefited from all those activities in terms of the gloss. Here's the before image in raking light. You can see again, a lot of finger bends rippling along the right edge, a lot of spine ticks, some of them quite deep and color breaking. Curl to the page along the bottom edge. Let's have a look at the after. Well, I think it's fair to say that's a dramatic improvement. You see there's still a remnant of a spine tick on the left. That is color breaking and that's not going to be removed. But what a difference our work made. That looks beautiful. Here's the before image of the back. In addition to the outside edge, the left edge spine roll, you can see there's a spine curl on the right with some spine ticks as well. And then there's a crease on the bottom left here, which was color breaking. We won't be able to completely remove it. But we have decreased the effect of it, and we've improved that spine roll, and we've completely eliminated the spine curl. And again, look how much glossier the book looks when you remove all that superfluous stuff and you give it a little buff after you clean it. Beautiful. Here we go on the left, the before. So this is after picture cleaning and pressing. So on the back, nice improvement. It appears better. It presents better. The spine roll's improved. But on the front, dramatic improvement. Look how much nicer the book looks now. It really is a reborn comic book, and I couldn't be happier with the outcome here. Thank you for joining me for this short crack, clean, press, and resubmit video series. Sometimes the best approach is a simple, thoughtful, and careful clean and press and nothing too fancy. I think we've maximized our equity in this golden age comic book, and the next step is off to CGC. Do you think we have a chance at our stretch goal of getting this book into the top quartile of the CGC Census? We need a 6.5 or better to get there. Head on over to the community page for Liberty Hill Comics and participate in the quiz to guess the grade CGC will assign, or let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Until next time, take care of one another.